Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today we'd like to take you through what has been a tremendous surprise for us, and that is Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Now, there's a lot of history as to where that name came from, and we'll share that with you here as we go through the video. But come along and enjoy this amazing little town.
Thanks.
Now we're going to start off today and just show you a few pictures of the downtown. And they've done a lot to revitalize their downtown, a lot of murals, a lot of really cool shops. But while we're giving you a look at this, we also want to take a moment and tell you a little bit of the backstory on why this town is called Truth or Consequences. It was originally found back in the 1800s as Palomas Hot Springs, and then became just known as Hot Springs. But in 1950, in March of 1950, the radio game show Truth or Consequences put the challenge out to America that if any town out there would change their name to the name of the game show, that they would come and do a live taping right there in that town. So they changed their name on March the 30th, and on April the 1st, they had a live radio show of Truth or Consequences broadcast from there. Ralph Edwards was the game show host, and he liked the town so much and was especially drawn to the children's hospital that he came back the first weekend of May for Fiesta every year for 50 years. Now, this was one of Maggie's highlights.
Oh, yes.
There were 3 separate parks there, a lot of very social dogs. She really had fun here.
This part of the country has what they call goat heads, and it's all over, I guess, from here out to California. And so this isn't a special, it's an important place to the community.
Now, right beside the dog park is Ralph Edwards Park, named for Ralph Edwards, of course. It sits right on the banks of the Rio Grande River. I love the hairdo on this one guy. He was there every day. But it's just a nice, quiet, peaceful park along the river. You have the baseball. You have the
skate
park. Nice green area, baseball, you name it. And
there's benches along the river.
That park is used for the Fiesta also. Right out in the middle of the park, they've got this nice little stage area, and it's a very well-used park.
And it especially was the weekend we were there.
Because we happened, and I only mean that as a coincidence, we happened to be there the first week in May. We'll show you more about Fiesta a little bit later. But right down along the banks of the Rio Grande is Riverside Hot Springs.
This was one of my favorite places. And the hot springs is what brought everybody to this area, the Indians, and then the cowboys, and then everybody else came,
and the
including
children's
us.
hospital.
And that's right, and the children's hospital. But the springs are therapeutic, they're wonderful, and they are hot.
And from my understanding, there was a rerouting of the river at one point that made these springs kind of pop. And there's either 10 or 11 hot springs in that basically downtown area. Now you can stay here. They have a hotel. They have RV spots. We didn't stay, but we just chose an hour soak and a private pool. And this is what you got. It was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
And you could sit in the hot spring water and watch the river go by. That was one reason that Cathy kind of picked this spot, was great reviews in the first place and great views in the second.
This is the only one that is actually on the riverbanks.
Now they also do offer a larger communal hot tub that is available, and then they do offer these private ones. And it just didn't get any nicer than this.
These are very serene atmospheres. They go in, they ask you to not talk above a whisper, And it's just a very peaceful experience.
And the mineral waters are not only supposed to be healing, but they are very low in sulfur, which is unusual for hot springs, so they don't have that kind of an eggy smell that you get in a lot of them.
Oh, it was just the most wonderful experience. That little rope hanging down in the very middle, that's for a cold shower in case you're getting there and the water's too warm, you can cool it off a little.
Now, this is a spot that we stopped at kind of for a brunch, a late breakfast, early lunch. It's called Passion Pie Cafe, and they do breakfast and lunch. They're closed by the middle of the afternoon. They do a lot of really good-looking baked goods. But Cathy had a chorizo quiche, and I had a CBLT, a bacon, lettuce, and tomato on a croissant. Both of them were amazing.
Yes.
Now, the Truth or Consequences Visitor Center also has the Spaceport America Visitor Center. Spaceport America uses, I believe, 8 different companies, but not Virgin Airlines, but whatever the intergalactic part of them is. Sir Richard Branson is headquartered out of there. This is one of the nearest towns to there. Every Saturday they have 2 bus tours that go out and give you a tour. Instead of going to Spaceport, we went back in time and we went to the Geronimo Springs Museum.
This is an amazing museum.
This is the 50th anniversary for this museum, and if you are in this area, this is an absolute must go to.
Absolutely.
There are things that I've never seen in any museum before. This tells you a little bit about the springs there, and right beside this building was the former site of a hot spring. They also have a small log cabin that's at the back of that park. We'll show you more about that park here in just a little, or the cabin in just a little bit. Now, as you go in, one of the first things you'll see is this. This is a mastodon skull.
That was so amazing.
And if you look underneath, you'll see some of the upper teeth are still in that skull. There are all kinds of crystals and fossilized rocks. There you can see the plants fossilized in that one. All kinds of, I would say, sea creatures in that one. Look at the size of that. There's history about the area and about the state of New Mexico. That was a flag from when New Mexico became a state, which I believe is like 110 years ago. It's not that far back. This is about the Children's Hospital and some of the work they did with the healing springs. And all kinds of historical things from around the community. This is the newspaper from March the 30th, getting ready for the vote on March 31st to change the name.
This was my favorite, the pottery.
And every shot you see there is a different section. There is that much of it.
Yeah.
Some of it going back into the 300 and 400 and up to the 13 and 1400s.
And it's in such amazing shape.
Yeah, they've done an incredible job preserving that.
Yeah.
And down to the little tiny things.
Oh yeah, the little toys.
They do have a door that goes directly out into this log cabin. It's believed to be the first dwelling in the area.
And the dweller was there at the desk to answer any questions.
This room was all arrowheads. Now there were some of the, like the tomahawk, the hatchet, the larger heads also in another display, but this was all in the small arrowheads.
That's so amazing to think that's all been found around here.
This room was all about Geronimo. There's even a newspaper article there on the wall about Geronimo and his 8th wife.
Yeah.
There are a lot of the records of the town, but this section was all about Ralph Edwards. He's made such a huge impact on this community. And when Fiesta kind of was getting started, when he was coming to town yearly, he was bringing in some big names with him.
Yes, he was.
A lot of his personal belongings are in there. We tried to do some quick math, and I think he was coming there up into his very late 80s or maybe early 90s.
Yeah.
So he made quite the commitment to this town, was here every year for Fiesta. Those are some of the personalities that he brought along with him. There's some of his riding gear. Some pictures there from when he was there at Fiesta. There again, there's some petroglyphs there in the middle.
Yeah. This place totally outdid my expectations.
Yeah, and a little bit about Ralph Edwards' history there with the community. I like his outfit from 1955. That would have been his 6th visit there. Now, on the south edge of the town is the Veterans Memorial Museum. The museum we didn't have an opportunity to go into, but we did go through the grounds there. And this is, again, one of the most nicely done Veterans Memorial I think I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a small replica of the Vietnam Memorial from Washington, D.C. It has the names all inscribed across it. And I say small, it's only small relative to the actual one. It's actually quite large. There's a little bit more to the park in the back, but they were actually having a private service back there that we didn't want to disturb. But definitely worth a stop at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, next up downtown, you'll see the Truth or Consequences Brewing Company. This place really blew me away.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Now, we got
fun.
there in the middle of the afternoon. I did go back by there again in the evening, and it was packed. They have live music. The 3 ciders that we tried, the lavender cider, the
Blood orange,
and the watermelon, which tasted like a Jolly Rancher. All 3 were wonderful. We ended up with a growler of the blood orange to bring home. I think it was our favorite. They do their own brewing right there on the premises, and they really have a loyal following.
They sure do.
Now, up across the Main Street there, Main Avenue, was a banner for Fiesta. And we had no idea when we were coming to town that we were going to be there for Fiesta. But Fiesta is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock Mountain Time is their parade. And I'm not sure, the guy there in front of me in the blue shirt, if he was more excited about the parade or the candy that was being thrown.
That's right.
I kept seeing him down in the gutter picking up candy. This alien holding this poor man.
That was so hilarious.
That was. I want to find one of those suits. They even, one of the floats was passing out roses to all the ladies.
Yes, and I got one.
You got a beautiful red rose out of the parade.
This was so special. It was like the hometown parade we used to have for the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm. That lady that was playing the drum there to the 2 dancing dragons, that surprised me. She was the only music in the parade. They didn't have a band or anything like what I'm used to with parades. But that was the queen and her court. I'm not sure who this guy is driving this BMW. He looks like kind of out of this world. Their theme this year, I can't tell you exactly what it was, but it was something to do with aliens and UFOs.
You know, I somehow think that that's the way it is every year.
It may be.
Just the area.
There was even an RV in it, so it definitely got my vote. There was their portable jail. They had boats in the parade.
Girl Scouts.
More aliens. More aliens. Definitely was a theme. They had several groups of horsemen. This group was from Albuquerque, which is about 2.5 hours north. And there are some dancing bugs. I think it was a pest control company. And this group were from El Paso, and that's probably an hour and a half to the south and in Texas. So they pulled from far and wide for this parade. The parade went on for probably 45 minutes to an hour.
It did.
It was a good sized parade. Now you'll see every now and then it'll look like the parade's over. There were a few places that there were open spots in it because we were just past where the judging table was. So several of the groups came through to perform. Now me, I love the old cars.
Mm-hmm.
I especially like the Avante. I thought that was really cool.
More aliens.
More aliens, and their spaceship looks kind of like upside down trash containers, but I'm not sure. Downtown they had live music, they had food trucks, all kinds of things going on in the rest of the downtown. Now while we were there, we stayed at the RJ RV Park, and we wanted to include this in here. It's a small park, but it's a really nice little park. In that main building, they do have 3 washers, 3 dryers. They do have private bathrooms with showers. And they do have their office there on the left. It goes around to a little kitchenette where they do have get-togethers, lots of tables all throughout the room. It's really a nice little place. The whole park is a gravel lot. And we had kind of an unusual space. There are some back ends and some pull-throughs, but we had a spot that was kind of in between the 2 rows. There were 3 sites out there, and we've had neighbors to the front and neighbors to the back during the week we were there. But 50 amp, full hookup, very modern hookups, good water pressure, nice quiet park.
Yes, it was quiet.
Well, Cathy, what did you think about our time here in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico?
It's been too short. Just everything has been so neat.
When we first plotted this spot to stay on our route this year, one of us didn't think there was a whole lot to do here.
I did have reservations. I had actually seen someone else's video that wasn't real informative and felt like, well, this will be some nice downtime.
And there's been no downtime at all.
None.
We hope you've enjoyed our time in Truth or Consequences as much as what we have. This is definitely on our list of places we want to come back to.
Absolutely.
It's a great little town. And if you have enjoyed the video today, leave us a thumbs up. We certainly appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe and ring the notification bell. That way you'll know when every one of our videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.